Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at more gut feeling stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. I was out hunting with my son. He was 10 at the time. We were walking an old logging road to cut a block in a pretty overgrown area. We got to the trail leading to the cut block and started in. We got about 30 yards when I stopped dead in my tracks. I didn't think to stop. My body just did it on its own. I had my hand on my kid's chest. My hair was standing on end and I'm trying to figure out what was going on. This all happened in a split second. My instincts were screaming, run. That's when I looked up and saw the ass end of a grizzly about 10 foot to my right in the underbush. The air that was in my lungs decided to leave, making a noise, and it spooked the both of them. They exploded through the bush away from me, spun the kid around, and hightailed it out of there. Got back to the truck, and the kid said, "Thought we were going hunting?" He hadn't noticed what happened or saw anything, completely oblivious. On the drive home, I think I realized I smelled the bear, and my caveman brain kicked in. Not the last time I walked in on a grizzly, but the closest call I've ever had. If she had seen us first, it would have been over before I could have done anything. Still get the shiver thinking about how close that was. You know what? It's so good that the kid didn't know, because if the kid knew, they would probably panic and make a noise, and the bear would just go into like protective mode. Yo! Oh, thank goodness there are no bears in Australia. We just have a ton of spiders and crocodiles and snakes. My friend and I were traveling Europe and she was single, so we met up with a few people on her Tinder to show us around the place. We had met two guys already who had given us tours, so everything had been going fine. It was getting kind of late and she wanted to meet one guy who was very attractive, but I wanted to go home. I didn't want to spoil her excitement, so despite not wanting to, I told her I didn't mind. We met him in a crowded bar, but he had brought along a friend who was much older than us, and he also looked nothing like his pictures. They tried to buy us drinks and insisted they ordered them instead of getting us the drink directly. We said no, and they basically ushered us out of the bar to go to their preferred bar, and he dabbed up the bouncer while going in. Yeah, I would not trust anyone. If they were like close to everyone in the bar, close to all the workers in the bar, and then they're like, "Oh, just get her a drink for me." Suspicious. I've never felt so uneasy seeing someone interact with the bouncer like that. Something about the situation said he could do whatever he wanted and get away with it because he was the king here and he knew it. I knew if I didn't do something then, something really bad would have happened to us. I didn't know what else to do, so I pretended to have a psychotic breakdown outside the bar. I learned one of the few things a cocky man fears is an unstable woman. He tried to calm me down, and anytime he stood near me, I screamed at him like I was a maniac. He went from confident to terrified pretty damn quickly, and my friend said she was going to take me away for a few minutes to a less busy street to calm me down and we'd come back. He started following us as we walked down the street and we both ran back to our accommodation. Thankfully, she was just as scared as I was and was incredibly grateful I was able to think fast like that. Still gives me the shivers when I think about it. Yo, she was so smart. That's definitely what was going to happen. They were planning something for sure. He was the king in there. So whatever he did, he would get away with it. They would cover it up for him. Yes, ladies, just act crazy. Even if you're walking home alone, just act crazy. I was around 12 when this happened, but I was lost in a Walmart looking for my brother when this older guy, about 50 to 60, was following me. I noticed and tried not to look nervous. I was walking faster and he sped up with me. I moved to a different aisle to try to lose him, but he was still following me. That's when I bumped into an employee stocking inventory and saw my brother. Shortly after that, we left. I don't know what he would do if he had gotten me or why he was following me, but I'm grateful my brother found me when he did. That's freaking scary. Oh, a 50 to 60-year-old speeding up to a kid following them? Oh, hell no. Honestly though, I feel like kids nowadays though, they should just learn. If someone is following them, just shout, "Stop following me!" When my mum failed to strangle me when I was 16. It was the first time in my life I ever actually swore at her, and she lunged at me and she put her hands around my throat and pushed me down with all her weight on the couch. My stepdad, brother and aunt all watched as I started to lose consciousness. To be fair, my brother and aunt were younger than me and screaming and crying for her to stop. I managed to kick her off me when my stepdad finally began to pull her off of me. I scaled a couch and ran to get my phone from my room, and they both beat me over the head as I'm trying to escape the house, and they're trying to pry my phone out of my hands. My exit was blocked and I knew they wanted the phone, and as soon as I let go, I ran to the balcony and jumped off the second floor onto some grass and ran to my neighbor's house I had never talked to please let me inside, that my mother was trying to kill me. They let me in, and I found out that day that calling the cops is never a good idea, even if you're in trouble. My mom got to the police first and told them a very fake story, and she coerced my brother to lie as well. They made me beg her to let me stay and not be brought to juvie. My whole life, she fed me stories about how much worse it would be there or being in the system, and to never talk to the cops or CPS. What? I mean, I hope this person never went back to the parents' house. I wouldn't even talk to the brother. Screw everybody. You're gonna lie? Yeah, screw you. Seriously, why are some people parents? Like, you're gonna have a kid and you're gonna strangle them? They literally came out of you, all that pain, all that effort of carrying them for 9 months, and you're gonna try to kill them? I invited a guy I'd only just started seeing over for a drink, and my usually overly friendly dog snarled at him and wet herself when he walked in. When she didn't stop, I told him my friend had just texted saying she needed help with something and bailed. When I drove home later that night, he was still sitting in his car 2 houses down from my place, watching my house. Hell no! Man, I'd be so pissed. Oh, the fact that the guy knows where she lives now? But seriously, good doggo. Yes, dogs always know. Dogs always know who's the evil person. They can smell it in the blood. My friends had dragged me to a club I didn't want to go to. After a while, I saw a group of guys come in badly concealing guns and looking like they had eaten week-old shit, so I told my friends we needed to go and went straight for the exit. I was about 3 blocks away when I realized they hadn't followed me out, so I said it's too late for them now. About 4 minutes later, I saw people running. My friends started to run past me but stopped and said, "How'd you get here so fast?" I said, "I told you we needed to go." And one of them said, "I told everyone you were going to the bathroom." This person was really like, oh, each person for themselves now. My friends are done for. Yep, it's their fault that they didn't listen to me. They are dead. Welcome to my now wife's place in East London in the early 2000s. Sunday afternoon was eerily quiet. I passed under a sky crane that looked like it was being raised to a higher level. I remember thinking that if that collapsed on a busy day, there'll be carnage. I booted it to my partner's place and sat down to watch an old black and white movie across the bottom of the TV screen, and newsflash came across. The crane I walked under had collapsed, killing 3 people. To this day, it freaks me out. Wow. That's crazy. If a place that's normally filled with people and then it's just eerily quiet, yeah, that's a sign. It's just like when all the animals leave a place, right? That's a sign too. When I was around 12, I was staying at a large hotel and the ice machine was on a different floor. So I went down to get the ice. I went down the floor and couldn't find it, so I walked back to the elevator. As I got in, this group of older teenage boys got in too, and although they didn't say anything to me, I knew I was in danger and I raised the ice bucket immediately to let them know I would hit them if they got near. The one guy immediately started saying, I was just joking. And then the door opened and I booked it to my room. The thing was, I never actually heard them talking about me. I just knew something was wrong and I reacted instinctively. I still wonder what he had said, to be honest. So they didn't even hear what they said, but they just knew that they had to literally threaten them. Wow. You know what though? I think you can tell a lot by someone's actions, even by the way that they walk. You can tell. Yeah. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!